Hi guys, welcome to my study compass. In this video, I'll be walking you through the past paper, Math P3, Variant 3, October-November 2021. Let's get started. Roberto and his family fly from London to Los Angeles on a holiday. The flight takes 11 hours 15 minutes. The flight leaves London at 15:40 local time. The local time in Los Angeles is 8 hours behind the local time in London. Work out the local time in Los Angeles that the plane arrives. To get the local time in Los Angeles when the flight leaves London, we subtract 8 hours from 15:40. Under the minute column, 40 minus 0 is 40, and under the hour column, 15 minus 8 is 7, so we have 7:40. To get the arrival time in Los Angeles, we add the flight duration, which is 11 hours 15 minutes, to 7:40. Under the minute column, 40 plus 15 is 55, and under the hour column, 7 plus 11 is 18. This means the flight arrives in Los Angeles at 18:55 local time. The plane flies a total of 8,760 kilometers. Calculate the average speed of the plane. The average speed of the plane is equal to the total distance covered by the plane, which has been given as 8,760 kilometers divided by the time duration for the flight, which was given previously as 11 hours 15 minutes. We divide 15 by 60 to convert it to hours. When we type this into the calculator, we get 779 kilometers per hour, rounded to 3 significant figures. Roberto hires a car. The cost of hiring a car is $56 per day, plus a fixed cost of $436. Write down a formula for the cost C dollars of hiring a car for D days. The cost C would be equal to the fixed cost, which is $436 plus $56 times the number of days the car would be hired, which is D. Roberto is given a car at random. There are 4 colors of car. Complete the table. Let's represent the unknown probability with X. We know that the sum of all the probabilities in the probability distribution should be equal to 1. So we have 0.17 plus 0.24 plus X plus 0.3 equals 1. When we make X the subject, we get X equals 0.29. The family visits a national park which has an area of 4,986 kilometers squared. Write 4,986 correct to the nearest hundred. The number in the hundreds position is 9. The number after 9, which is 8, is greater than 5, so we add 1 to 9, giving us 10. Since we got 10, we replace 9 with 0 and add 1 to 4, giving us 5. The numbers after 9 become 0, so we have 5,000 correct to the nearest hundred. Write 4,986 in standard form. To get the number in standard form, we move the decimal point from the end of the number to a position after the first non-zero digit, which is 4. So we have 4.986. Since we moved the decimal point 3 units to the left, we multiply 4.986 by 10 raised to the power 3. A ticket for the park costs $17.50 plus 8% tax. Calculate the amount of tax paid. To get the amount paid for tax, we simply multiply 8%, which is the same as 8 over 100, by $17.50. When we type this into the calculator, we get $1.40. The scale drawing shows the positions of 2 viewing points, A and B, in the park. The scale is 1 centimeter, represents 5 kilometers. Work out the actual distance between point A and point B. First, we measure the distance between point A and B on the map. We get 7 centimeters. So now we set up the scale conversion to get the actual distance. When we cross multiply and make x the subject, this is what we have, which is equal to 35 kilometers. Point C is 20 kilometers from point A on a bearing of 72 degrees. On the scale drawing, mark the position of point C. First, let's set up the conversion ratio to get the equivalent distance on the map. When we cross multiply and make x the subject, this is what we have, which is equal to 4 centimeters. So on the map, we start by measuring an angle of 72 degrees from the north of point A. Then we mark the position of point C along this bearing such that it is 4 centimeters from point A. The bar chart shows the number of cars sold by a garage in each of 6 months. In July, 11 cars were sold. Complete the bar chart. On the grid, we draw the bar for July with a height of 11. How many more cars were sold in March than in May? In other words, we are to find the difference between the number of cars sold in March and the number of cars sold in May. From the bar chart, the number of cars sold in March is 15 and the number of cars sold in May is 6. So 15 minus 6 gives us 9. These are the opening times of the garage. Work out how many hours the garage is open in 1 week. First, let's find the time duration the garage is open on the weekdays. 5:30 p.m. is 17:30 on the 24-hour clock. So we have 17:30 minus 8:30. Under the minute column, 30 minus 30 is 0. And under the hour column, 17 minus 8 is 9. This means the garage is open for 9 hours on weekdays. Now let's find the time duration the garage is open on Saturday. 1 p.m. is 13 o'clock on the 24-hour clock. So we have 13 o'clock minus 8:30. Under the minute column, we can't subtract 30 from 0. So we get 1 hour from the hour column, which becomes 60 minutes under the minutes column. So now 60 minus 30 is 30. Under the hour column, 12 minus 8 is 4. This means the garage is open for 4 hours and 30 minutes on Saturday. The garage does not open on Sunday, so that will be 0 hours. So the total number of hours for the week would be 5 times 9 hours for the weekdays plus 430 over 60 hours for Saturday. When we type this into the calculator, we get 49.5 hours. Muhammad works at the garage. He works for 36 hours from Monday to Friday and for 2 hours on Saturday. He is paid $10.50 per hour from Monday to Friday. On Saturday, he is paid 1.5 times this rate. Calculate how much Muhammad is paid for this week. This would be equal to the total amount he earns from Monday to Friday, which is equal to 36 times $10.50 plus the total amount he earns on Saturday, which is equal to 2 times the hourly wage on Saturday, which is 1.5 times $10.50. When we type this into the calculator, we get $409.50. Victor is saving to buy a car. He invests $8,000 for 5 years at a rate of 2.4% per year compound interest. Calculate the value of Victor's investments at the end of the 5 years. Give your answer correct to the nearest dollar. Here is the formula for compound interest. Big A represents the final value of his investment, which is what we are finding. Small a represents the initial amount he invested, which is $8,000. R is the rate, which is 2.4%, and T is the time duration in years for the investment, which is 5. When we type this into the calculator, we get $9,007 rounded to the nearest dollar. At the garage, Pierre, Luigi, and Frida sell cars. They share a bonus of $12,000 in the ratio Pierre is to Luigi is to Frida equals 8 is to 4 is to 3. Calculate the amount they each receive. To get the amount Pierre receives, we divide the ratio for Pierre, which is 8, by the total ratio 8 plus 4 plus 3, which is 15, times $12,000. This gives us $6,400. To get the amount Luigi receives, we have 4 over 15 times $12,000, which is equal to $3,200. Then for the amount Frida receives, we have 3 over 15 times $12,000, which is equal to $2,400. Write down the order of rotational symmetry of each shape. The order of rotational symmetry is simply the number of times a shape looks like the original when it is rotated through 360 degrees. For this shape, the order of rotational symmetry is 8, and for this shape, the order of rotational symmetry is 4. Triangles A, B, and C are shown on the grid. Describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle B. When we look at both triangles A and B, we can tell straight away that this is an enlargement by a scale factor of 2 because each of the sides of the image, which is triangle B, is twice its corresponding sides on the original, which is triangle A. The scale factor in this case is positive because triangle B has the same orientation as triangle A. From here, all we need to do now is to find the center of enlargement. We can get this by connecting at least 2 corresponding points on both triangles with a line. The intersection point of the lines is the center of enlargement. In this case, we get the center as -7, -5. And so the full description for this transformation would be enlargement by a scale factor of 2 about the center -7, -5. Describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle C. When we look at triangles A and C, we can tell straight away that this is a 180-degree rotation. So now we need to identify the center of rotation. For a 180-degree rotation, the way to determine the center of rotation is this. We draw a line to connect at least 2 corresponding points on both triangles. The intersection point of the lines is the center of rotation. In this case, this point is the origin. And so the full description for the transformation would be rotation 180 degrees about the origin. On the grid, reflect triangle C in the line x equals -1. So first, we draw the line of reflection, which is x equals -1. Then from here, we need to reflect the vertices of triangle C in the line x equals -1. So for point C on the triangle, since we move 2 units to the left to touch the line of reflection, we also need to move 2 units to the left from the line of reflection to pin the new position of point C. We need to repeat the same process for points A and B on the triangle as well. When we are done, we are able to map out the reflected image of triangle C. On the grid, translate triangle C by the vector 5, -1. For this translation, the translation vector dictates that we move each of the vertices of triangle C 5 units to the right and 1 unit downwards. On the diagram, the movement for point B has been shown. After repeating the same process for all the other points as well, we are able to map out the translated image of triangle C. Measure the size of angle X. Using a protractor, when we measure angle X, we get 42 degrees. Write down the mathematical name of this type of angle. Since 42 degrees is less than 90 degrees, it is an acute angle. ABC is a straight line and ABD is an isosceles triangle. Find the value of y. Base angles in an isosceles triangle are equal. So to get the value of each of the base angles, we subtract 74 degrees from 180 degrees and divide by 2. This gives us 53 degrees. Angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. So we have y plus 53 degrees equals 180 degrees. When we subtract 53 from both sides, we get y equals 127 degrees. E, F, and G are points on the circle center O. EG equals 12 centimeters. Write down the mathematical name for the line FG. FG is a chord. A chord is simply any line that connects two points on the circumference of a circle. Explain why EFG is 90 degrees. This is because an angle formed in a semicircle is 90 degrees. Calculate the area of the circle. Here is the formula for the area of a circle. EG, which is the diameter, has been given as 12 centimeters. So the radius R would be 12 centimeters divided by 2. When we type this into the calculator, we get 113 centimeters squared, rounded to 3 significant figures. A cuboid measures 4 centimeters by 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters. On the 1 centimeter squared grid, draw an accurate net of this cuboid. One face has been drawn for you. A cuboid has 6 faces. In this case, 2 of the faces would have the dimensions 4 centimeters by 2 centimeters. Another 2 of the faces would have the dimensions 4 centimeters by 2 centimeters. Then the remaining 2 faces would have the dimensions 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters. One of the faces with dimensions 4 centimeters by 2 centimeters has been drawn on the grid for us. This face is connected directly to the faces with dimensions 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters on the sides and the face with dimensions 4 centimeters by 2 centimeters. This face is connected directly to the face with dimensions 4 centimeters by 2 centimeters, which is also connected to the face with dimensions 4 centimeters by 2 centimeters. Calculate the surface area of the cuboid. On the grid, we found the surface area of each of the 6 faces of the cuboid. So the total surface area of the cuboid would be the sum of the area of the 6 faces. This gives us 4 times 8 centimeters squared plus 2 times 4 centimeters squared. When we type this into the calculator, we get 40 centimeters squared. A factory makes 5,000 of these cuboids. 25 of the cuboids are checked, and 3 of these cuboids are faulty. How many of the 5,000 cuboids are expected to be faulty? So if out of 25 cuboids, 3 are faulty, then we want to find out how many cuboids we expect to be faulty out of the 5,000. This is what we are calling x. When we cross multiply and make x the subject, this is what we have, which is equal to 600. The surface area of a cube is 294 centimeters squared. Calculate the volume of the cube. Here is the formula for the volume of a cube. we need to find the value of L, which is the side length of the cube. We know that the surface area of a cube is 6L squared. When we make L the subject, this is what we have. We've been given the surface area of the cube to be 294 centimeters squared. This gives us L to be 7 centimeters. So now the volume of the cube is 7 centimeters all cubed, which is equal to 343 centimeters cubed. The length L centimeters of a line is measured as 24 centimeters, correct to the nearest centimeter. Complete the statement about the value of L. Since we are correcting L to the nearest centimeter, we have L equals 24 centimeters. Then we bring in plus and minus 1 centimeter divided by 2. The lower bound of L is 24 minus 1 over 2 centimeters, which is equal to 23.5 centimeters. And the upper bound of L is 24 plus 1 over 2 centimeters, which is equal to 24.5 centimeters. So we have L is greater than and equal to 23.5 and less than 24.5. Jean asks 600 people to choose their favorite sports. The pie chart shows some of this information. Show that 100 people choose tennis. The number of people who choose tennis is equal to the sector angle for tennis, which is 60 degrees, divided by 360 degrees times 600. This gives us 100. Work out how many people choose rugby. The number of people who choose rugby is equal to the sector angle for rugby, which is 27 degrees, divided by 360 degrees times 600. This gives us 45. 125 people choose cricket and the rest choose swimming. Complete the pie chart to show this information. To get the sector angle for cricket, we divide 125 by 600 and multiply by 360 degrees. This gives us 75 degrees. Using a protractor, we measure an angle of 75 degrees and label the sector as cricket. The other sector would be for swimming. When we subtract the sum of 75, 105, 60 and 27 from 360, we get the sector angle for swimming to be 93 degrees. One of the 600 people is picked at random. Find the probability that this person chooses tennis or cricket. Give your answer as a fraction in its simplest form. The probability that the person chooses tennis is equal to the number of people who choose tennis, which is 100, divided by the total number of people, which is 600. The probability that the person chooses cricket is equal to the number of people who choose cricket, which is 125, divided by the total number of people, which is 600. The all becomes plus. When we type this into the calculator, we get 3 over 8. There are 80 people in a group. H is the set of people who play hockey. N is the set of people who play netball. Complete the Venn diagram. We've been told that 8 people do not play hockey or netball, so we have 8 outside sets H and N. We now have 72 people left. We've also been told that 36 people play hockey and 53 people play netball. From this, we first need to find the number of people who play both hockey and netball. We get this by subtracting 72 from the sum of 36 and 53. This gives us 17. So we put 17 in the intersection of sets H and N. To get the number of people who play hockey only, We subtract 17 from 36, giving us 19. To get the number of people who play netball only, we subtract 17 from 53, giving us 36. Write the number 603,821 in figures. This is the number in figures. You can confirm this by typing 603,000 plus 821 into the calculator. Pens cost 47 cents each. Aroha buys 8 pens. How much change does she receive from $5? The change she receives would be equal to $5 minus 8 times 47 cents. We divide 47 by 100 to convert it to dollars, giving us $0.47. When we type this into the calculator, we get $1.24. Find the value of square root of 81. When we type this into the calculator, we get 9. Find the value of 6 cubed. When we type this into the calculator, we get 216. Find the value of 3 raised to the power 0. Any number raised to the power 0 is 1. So 3 raised to the power 0 is 1. Write 130 as a product of its prime factors. 130 can be rewritten as 13 times 10. 13 is a prime number, so we circle it. 10 can be rewritten as 2 times 5. 2 and 5 are prime numbers, so we circle them. So now we have 130 equals 2 times 5 times 13. A tower has 2 bells, A and B. Bell A rings every 12 minutes. Bell B rings every 14 minutes. Both bells ring at 9:30. Find the next time both bells ring together. If bell A rings after every 12 minutes and bell B rings after every 14 minutes, then by finding the LCM of 12 and 14, we get the time duration when the bells ring together, and that is 84 minutes. Now that we have the time duration, the next time the bells ring together is 9:30 plus 84. Under the minute column, 30 plus 84 is 114. 60 minutes is 1 hour, so we add 1 to the hour column and leave the remaining 54 minutes under the minute column. Under the hour column, 9 plus 1 is 10, so the bells ring together at 10:54. Line L is shown on the grid. Find the equation of the line L in the form y equals mx plus c. All we need to do is find the values of m and c and plug them into the equation y equals mx plus c. First, we need to pick 2 points on line L. In this case, we are using -4, 0 and 0, 10. By applying the gradient formula, we have m equals 10 minus 0 divided by 0 minus -4, which is equal to 2.5. We can get the value of c in 2 ways. The first way we can do this is to pick the value on the y-axis through which line L passes, and that is 10. Another way to get the value of c is by plugging in the value of m and one set of coordinates on the line into y equals mx plus c. Now that we have the values of m and c, the equation of the line is y equals 2.5x plus 10. Complete the table of values for y equals x squared plus 4x. When we plug in x equals -2 into the equation, we have y equals -4. For x equals 3, we have y equals 21. On the grid, draw the graph of y equals x squared plus 4x for x is greater than and equal to -6 and less than and equal to 3. So on the grid, We plot all the points in the table and connect the points with a smooth line. Use your graph to solve the equation x squared plus 4x equals 10. To be able to solve this equation using the graph, we first need to draw the line y equals 10 on the grid. After drawing the line, the solution to the equation would be the x-coordinate of the intersection point of the curve and the line. This gives us x equals negative 5.7 and x equals 1.7. Simplify. 3g plus 7g minus 4g. When we type 3 plus 7 minus 4 into the calculator, we get 6. So we have 6g. Solve 4x plus 5 equals 27. When we subtract 5 from both sides, we have 4x equals 22. When we divide both sides by 4, we have x equals 5.5. 6 raised to the power p times 6 cubed equals 6 raised to the power 17. Work out the value of p. Since these two are multiplying and they have the same base, their powers add. So we have 6 raised to the power p plus 3. Now that we have the bases on both sides to be equal, their powers should also be equal. So we have p plus 3 equals 17. When we subtract 3 from both sides, we have p equals 14. Mia buys 4 calculators and 2 pens for $20.60. Heidi buys 5 calculators and 3 pens for $26.90. Write down a pair of simultaneous equations and solve them to find the cost of a calculator and the cost of a pen. Let's represent the cost of a calculator with C and the cost of a pen with P. So for Mia's purchase, we have 4C plus 2P equals 20.60. And for Heidi's purchase, we have 5C plus 3P equals 26.90. Now that we have these two equations, we can solve to find C and P. Let's use the elimination method. We'll start by eliminating the variable P. So first, we multiply equation 1 by 3. This gives us 12C plus 6P equals 61.80. Let's call this equation 3. Then we multiply equation 2 by 2. This gives us 10C plus 6P equals 53.80. Let's call this equation 4. Now that we have 6p in equations 3 and 4, we can eliminate p by subtracting equation 4 from equation 3. This gives us 2c equals 8. When we divide both sides by 2, we have c equals 4. We can find p by plugging in the value of c into any of the equations. If we pick equation 1, we have 4 times 4 plus 2p equals 20.60. When we simplify this and divide both sides by 2, we have p equals 2.3. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. See you in the next video. Bye guys.